Welcome on Discover Globe Virtually channel. Join me as dive into the top 10 European countries that turned into a nightmare for expats, and see if I can survive the shocking truths about living there. Moving to Europe can be a dream come true for many, but the reality can be far from it. Expats often face challenges that turn their European adventure into a never-ending struggle. Expats who've made the move to Europe often encounter a multitude of problems that can make their experience a frustrating one. Language barriers can be a significant obstacle, making everyday tasks a daunting task. Imagine having to navigate a new healthcare system or deal with utility companies in a language you're not fluent in. It's a recipe for disaster. High costs of living can also take a toll on expats. From expensive rent to pricey food and transportation, the expenses can add up quickly, leaving many feeling financially strained. Cultural differences can also play a significant role in making an expat's life difficult. What may be considered normal in one's home country can be seen as strange or even offensive in another, leading to feelings of isolation and loneliness. Another common issue expats face is the feeling of being an outsider. No matter how hard they try to integrate, they may still be perceived as foreigners, making it challenging to build meaningful connections with the locals. Make sure hit subscribe button before start the list. Number 10. Spain. Spain, for instance, is notorious for its bureaucratic red tape, making it a nightmare for expats to get anything done. From registering with the authorities to opening a bank account, the process can be long and arduous, leaving many feeling frustrated and defeated. Number 9. Denmark. Denmark has a developed economy that ranks 9th in the world in terms of GDP per capita and 6th in nominal GDP per capita. As it has a very small population, the Danish government imposed a total personal income tax rate of up to 53% in total taxes for the top earners in order to meet the needs of its people. Among those needs is the Danish welfare state, which, among other things, is based on the concept that citizens should have equal access to the different services paid for by taxes. Many see this as a justification for its high tax rates, which also allow for increased accessibility to social programs for the Danish people. Number 8. Portugal. Portugal has a wealthy economy, ranking near number 50 out of the top-ranking global economies, with a GDP of approximately $250,000. Portugal uses tax to increase equality between high-income earners and low-income earners in the country, and employment income earned is subject to a progressive income tax that applies to all who are in the workforce. A long list of tax allowances can count as tax deductions, including a general deduction, health expenses, life and health insurance, and education expenses. Number 7. Netherlands. For a long time, the Netherlands was among the most prosperous countries in the world. Its developed economy and has been playing a special role in the European economy for centuries. In more recent decades, it was one of the founding members of what would later become the European Union. The Netherlands has the 17th largest economy in the world, and its location in the heart of Western Europe gives it prime access to markets in the UK and Germany, with the port of Rotterdam being the largest in Europe. This trading powerhouse, and one of the most densely populated places on Earth, has an income tax rate of 49.5% for all income over €75,518. Number 6. Aruba. Aruba is one of the most beautiful Caribbean islands and a popular island vacation destination. The island is also one of the safest in the Caribbean if you exclude some petty crimes. But who cares about a little pickpocketing when the government levies a staggering personal income tax rate of up to 52%? It's actually come down in recent years, but does that make the tax rate any better? Well, not to us. We can't digest the notion of people paying more than half of their hard-earned money to the government in taxes. Number 5. Japan. Japan is the third largest national economy in the world, after the United States and China, in terms of nominal GDP. In terms of purchasing power parity, it is the fourth largest national economy in the world after the United States, China, and India. This is all quite astonishing for a country that only has the 11th largest population in the world. Many attribute Japan's success to their legendary work ethic. With its capital being home to more millionaires than any other city on the globe, Japan is the only Asian country amongst high-tax countries with a top marginal tax rate of 45%. The supremacy of Japanese corporations in Asia in producing a variety of sophisticated technology and automobiles means the government has plenty of income to tax. It is also one of only a few countries with a culture that can be compared with Western counterparts in terms of popularity around the world. Number 4. Austria. There aren't many German-speaking countries in the world, but just about all of them are highly developed, and Austria is no exception. It also demands that its people pay for that privilege, as the top marginal tax rates stand at 55% for anyone earning over €1 million. Aside from the high income tax rate, it also has a social security rate of 18%, bonus payments are charged at a rate of 6% and capital gains tax is 27.5%. Austria is the 15th richest country in the world in terms of GDP per capita, has a well-developed social market economy and a high standard of living. But you have to ask yourself, at what cost? Much of what you can find in Austria in terms of quality of life can be found in other countries with much lower tax rates. So, while it might be nice to visit Austria, don't plan on making it your tax home. Number 3. Finland. Finland has the highest taxes in Europe and the second highest taxes in the world. The rates are so high that this small nation of just 5.5 million people earns a place near the top of this list of highest tax countries, courtesy of its top income rate of 44%. However, Finland also adds additional taxes, including local municipal taxes of up to 10.8% and a church tax of up to 2.25%. Finland also has one of the highest capital gains taxes. An interesting fact is that anyone who has arrived in Finland and stayed longer than 6 months will become, from the tax administrator's point of view, a resident, and any resident's worldwide income is subject to Finnish tax with no distinction between the source country. Number 2. Slovenia. Slovenia. Though one of the smallest countries in Europe, Slovenia still imposes a progressive income tax rate of up to 50% tax on its citizens. Slovenia lies at the tri-point of the Germanic, Latin and Slavic cultures. Slovenia has just 2.1 million citizens and is among the smallest countries in the European Union. It's one of many former USSR countries to join the European Union but has the highest tax rates amongst its fellow ex-communist states. Still, Slovenia has a developed economy and is the richest of the Slavic countries by nominal GDP per capita in front of such regional powers, like Poland and Russia. Number 1. Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast, the country with beach resorts, rainforests, and a French colonial legacy, levies a massive 60% personal income tax, the highest in the world. The long-troubled West African country, Ivory Coast, has the highest income tax rate in the world. People living there are giving away a whopping 60% of their income to the government. That doesn't have to be the case. Certainly, it's a frontier market with a unique profile, but with such a low quality of life, we can't find a reason why someone would settle for paying their government most of their income. Such stories are a sobering reminder of the challenges that expats can face in Europe. From language barriers to high costs of living, cultural differences, and bureaucratic nightmares, the reality can be far from the romanticized idea of living in Europe. So, if you're considering making the move to Europe, make sure you do your research and are prepared for the challenges that lie ahead. And if you're an expat who's faced similar issues, please share your story in the comments below. Don't forget to hit subscribe button for more videos.